Well, that's no problem. We'll just, we have other options, so we will go with them. Hello, Matt and Johnny over on YouTube, and the folks who are joining us on Facebook, facebook.com/DDO Unlimited, youtube.com/Dungeons and Dragons, spell out the ampersand, and youtube.com/Dungeons and Dragons/live if you want to see it on YouTube instead. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, everyone over on Facebook. Second. There we go. I'm just going to tweet that out to the people in Twitch chat. Sorry that the service is having some kind of malfunction. And this was going to be the best show ever. No. I'll just have to make it a bad show then. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream on Twitch, normally, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm DDO's Community Manager Cordovan, and I'm going to be with you for the next hour, running dungeons on hardcore. Saving Grace should be pretty fun. I'm really going straight from where we were last Friday, or last Wednesday, so I'm just ready to take level 2 here, and I'm still working through Snowy Side, but it'll be fun, and we'll get quick work of it done. I should stay alive. If things go for Season 3 like they have for Season 2, then I can fairly safely make it to about level 9. And we'll see if I can do better here for Season 3. But you will be along for the ride here today. Obviously, that really is the biggest piece of news, is that Hardcore Season 3 is underway. We also have some sales that'll be kicking off tomorrow. We're doing for those who have been around for a while, often in July, we do special July summer sales. That will be happening starting tomorrow. So there you go. I'm getting a lot of people who are, frankly, way beyond the Snowy Side, so I can't really invite them to the group. But that's fine. I can solo this stuff if I need to. So I will be doing that instead. It's not exactly why the extra life exists at level 8. I think it just 8 and 16 made the best sense in terms of where people would often want an extra life. Don't make promises I can't keep. I'm good at that. No, I'm not. How's it going? May all the gods go with me. I have not really had much opportunity. We have been to play on the hardcore server. I've not had much time to myself to play DDO in recent weeks. Having a really great time with my son here this summer. Additionally, for those of you who have been kind of in the know, we have been doing a lot of releases on both the DDO side and the Lord of the Rings side. Like, for example, yesterday on the other game, we released The Great Wedding, which is the wedding of Aragorn and Arwen from the books that you may well be aware of. I've occasionally heard that a Dungeons & Dragons person likes Lord of the Rings as well. If that is you, that's what we did tomorrow. But we did yesterday. But we've just kind of been going boom, 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 boom on updates really throughout the month of June here. And it has been busy. So I have not had a lot of opportunity to actually sit down and play the game. Which is why I'm in the sorry state I am on hardcore. But no, I'm doing this on purpose so that you can watch me not die. I say. With no reservations. I haven't actually even gone through all my junk on this character yet. I usually don't worry about it until I start to run out of space and inventory at around level 3 or 4. For those of you who don't know, you can get a free Sybaris cake from doing the Old Sully's Grog. And you may ask, well, on hardcore, what possible use would I have for a Sybaris cake? Well, let me tell you. It will bring you back from in-cap. You're still on your own in terms of being able to survive once back to 1 hit point, but it will do that for you if you really need it. And it's free. You can just do it. So I think that is I'd call it a pro tip, but it's probably the opposite of pro tip. If you want to be newbie like me, and just in case, what if it saves your life? Won't it have been worth it? So that's why I do it. No announcement dead on Snowy side? No, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Actually, what I can be, however, is level 2. So let me do that quick. Okay. I want to go to heal. I want to go to jump. I kind of want to go to concentration, but honestly, I typically take Quicken because I always have taken Quicken, and it is just the way to go. I have a really interesting choice here. One of the better choices that we've done in recent years. I've really enjoyed the Cleric Domain update in particular. I play a lot of clerics. I've always been into them. And they open up some really great possibilities. So I will tell you from experience here that I really, really, really do like War Domain. Let me tell you why. And why you would not maybe want to take it, and why I may not be taking it this time. So you get a +1 to hit and damage with melee and ranged weapons. This bonus increases at 1, 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. Really helps with that kind of slightly lower base attack bonus progression that you get as a cleric. When using Turn Undead, you and your party gain a bonus to melee and ranged attack power equal to half your cleric level, so that means up to 10 for 20 seconds. That does not suck. Additionally, the higher tiers of it grant you the ability to use any exotic weapon without any issue. It's useful. However, in recent sort of years, we have made Longsword a very popular choice in Dungeons & Dragons Online if you were playing a cleric. So you may actually not need that proficiency. And in the case of a hardcore league situation where you really want to be careful, there are a few other options that I think I will be taking a look at. This one gives you light spell power. Light spell power very quickly can stack up to some major damage on a cleric as you progress through the area. Additionally, it gives temp hit points to people around you when you use your turn undead. And especially if you're going into Radiant Servant like I am, you're very soon going to be able to get those turns back and keep auras going and do some things that are going to be really, really important. So Domain of Good may well be one you like to do. The Death Domain is also not bad. You increase your Necromancy DCs by 1. This bonus is increased at 6, 12, and 18 for up to DC plus 4 on Necro DCs, of which you will have Destruction and a few other options for the most part. But it also just doesn't hurt. It also lets you affect undead 2 levels higher, as if your cleric level was 2 levels higher than it is now for Turn Undead. And you can affect undead 2 hit dice higher, as well as rolling 2 more total hit dice of sort of number turned. So Domain of Death is also really, really good as a way to help boost you up above the curve here that you're going to need in hardcore. Also, if you are going into turning, which I am, being able to get that higher cap on hit dice, especially when you're starting to destroy undead, makes such an incredible difference that I think I am going to be taking the Death Domain. Let me take a look at chat to see if anyone has any suggestions other than that. Hey, Zyfield, nice to see you, and also cool that you were also getting some videos up on YouTube. Can you beat the U47 new quest next week? I don't think next week, but it will not be very long. It's actually going to be pretty soon that you will be able to run the free quest and have the legendary versions of the raids. I believe we're going to be doing another Lamania preview in the nearish future. I can also talk a little bit about, I think, some probable additional downtime that we're going to be having. I tell you a little bit of what that's about later on, maybe a few minutes here on the show. But let me just quick say the other often taken one is Domain of Healing, because it gives 20% healing amplification to the people around you. I, however, am going to take the Death Domain. That is what I am going to be taking. Let me start getting a few action points into my Radiant Servant as well. I don't really use Divine Cleansing a whole lot, but it's kind of up to you. You really just want to open up later parts of the tree at this point. It doesn't matter that much. It says you are in Korthos Instance 2. All I know is it says to join a group, they must first go to the Stormreach Harbor. So does that, maybe I can go to the Stormreach Harbor? Let me just see if I can actually skip this and head over to Sunnyside. Yes, I can. Excellent. Okay, so let me take care of that then. Can we see the mount, please? I did that last week. I would have to log into one of my admin accounts, and I don't really want to do that right now. But I did show it off last week. I will be working hopefully in the near future, although I do actually have a little bit of time off in the near future, I think, as well. So I don't want to get too busy and making promises I will not keep. However, I will be working to get you some screenshots of the mount as well. I'm not going to worry about the collectible bags at the moment. I'll deal with it later. That's fine. I don't actually feel like I need that very much. Let me do daily dice here as well, as long as I've got a gold roll to take. Ooh, that's still good. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, someone had actually said they didn't like the death messages. I had assumed, because, like I said, last week was the last time I was able to join you on the server, that it was still in the World Broadcast channel, not in the DM text channel. So that is a change. Yeah, Samus, I imagine, would also be impacted by the inability of Twitch to do its thing. So, oh, seems to be coming up. Okay. I assume maybe people are actually seeing me on Twitch. If so, hello. How you doing? Especially on hardcore, I would have thought the animal domain would have been a no-brainer for the hit points. You are not wrong. That is another excellent choice. There are actually, frankly, too many excellent choices, as far as I'm concerned, for the new domains. But that's a good thing, because that means there's a lot of good domains to choose from that'll be largely based on the builds that you're going for. Now, I've been working on really just kind of a hybrid, whatever you want to call it, build for several seasons of hardcore now. And for me, it's working out quite well. I'm pretty pleased with the survivability, the DPS I've been doing, and all that. So it's got some weird choices. It does involve a small amount of respecking. I am 32 points, so I will say that. However, it's been working out pretty good, so I'm going to stick with what's been working and I've been kind of refining over the last few seasons of hardcore, and see if this ultimately can't be the successful build for me. So there was nothing deliberately done to change the nature of the death messages. I'm sorry that we're running into a few bugs there. Hopefully we can get that corrected in the near future. I don't think it's going to be in our next patch, though, just due to fairly high demands on the part of our engineers at the moment. But that said, it should be pretty good. We should be able to get it done, hopefully, relatively soon. We do have the ability to determine what level it starts to broadcast. So one of the things we have been considering is whether we should, as players start hitting higher levels on the hardcore server, whether we should start to actually increase the level gating on the death messages so that it's a little less spammy. For those who perhaps, once things start going underway, and there's a lot more, say, people in their teens and all that sort of thing, whether or not we shouldn't be adjusting it upwards throughout the season. So if you have an opinion on that, it's a great time to let us know. Just something we've been considering. The fact that it's going through a new channel this year compared to what the expectation is might well lead us to want to adjust that upwards a little bit as well, in case that is getting a bit spammy. It worked a little bit nicer as a world broadcast at the top of the screen because it was a little bit smaller and a little less in your face while you're questing.
You hear ratcheting machinery. The sound of distant snoring warns you that you are not alone here. If you're careful, you may be able to take the sleeping guards by surprise.
No, I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Collapses to the floor. But what are they guarding?
All right.
The extravagant gong in this room looks capable of truly ear-shattering noise. With the gong's reverberations, you hear a slight rumble from the larger room. But then the second strike of the gong produces the telltale sound of cracking ice.
I find command to be kind of useful in those first couple of levels when things are a little weak. And my volume is actually quite high. Is the game volume? I'm going to turn the game master volume down a little bit, in case I am being drowned out. Oops. So that was the thinking, is that, maybe this first week 2 was fine. Then we should go up to like 4, 6, 8, perhaps, something like that. And just do that progressively every week by an additional 2 levels was kind of maybe a thinking, something like that. Or another option might be to go 5, 10. If theoretically we have that level of success, 15. But I think 5 might be something to consider, huh? My guy's still real wimpy, so just accept it. It will not stay this way forever.
Ahead is the giant-ish device. The freezing mists it is spewing are directed the wrong way. With the right timing, you can get close enough to redirect them. The mist solidifies into ice over the ancient creature, but it's not enough. You need both jets to affect a thing of this size.
Sorry, I'm just slow. There we go.
A layer of ice forms over the
Yay!
creature, guaranteeing its slumber.
Good success with the druid this hardcore season. That's cool. Why are all the undead immune to ameliorate in the Warlock Celestial pack? I don't know. I will have to look into that.
Steam billows from the hidden entrance to an underground complex.
Perhaps someone on the team who might be watching this will be able to check into that for you. All the level 1 to 3 deaths should probably go into an ounce. Yeah, I think it's not been really consistent throughout Season 1 and 2. We've kind of experimented with it a little bit, but so far it seems to... Levels like, say, 2, 4, 6 seem to make sense, because it cuts out some of the embarrassing accidental deaths and a few things like that, and doesn't really impact the overall volume of death messages. Well, I mean, it impacts it greatly, but it impacts it positively. So perhaps it's something we can look at in the future. There was a discussion, actually, just within the past few days or internally about whether we should make an adjustment there. So in the very near future, not next week, perhaps the week after that, stay tuned for more extensive downtimes. We are going to be having some more extensive downtimes. And I wanted to explain a little bit about what was going up there. So what we're going to be doing is doing some server upgrades, some updates to our environment, similar to what we did over on the Lord of the Rings Online side last fall, to sort of update the... really do some very heavy-duty kind of tech ops work. So, expect in the relatively near future, not next week, perhaps the week after, and ongoing for a series of days, some fairly extensive downtimes on a per-server basis. We're going to be doing 1 or 2 worlds at a time. We'll kind of figure that out as we get a little bit closer to it. Potentially, though, you can be looking at about half-day downtimes. So it could be a fairly extensive downtime period. If you really want to do some investigative research, it'll be very, very similar to what we did over on the Lord of the Rings Online side. So if you want to take a look at approximately how long that took to get those servers done, it will likely be approximately the same for us here. This is something that's been in the works kind of architecturally and internally for quite some time now. And the scheduling has either run into holidays or, maybe a little COVID stay-at-home stuff and everything else. And so has really just not been done on the DDO side for some, at the kind of pace that one might expect. So just to kind of help you understand, this is going to be some pretty lengthy downtime to update our entire server environment. And so you can look at it for approximately half-day downtimes. And that's really about the most I could say about that. Should be a fairly painless process. We've had some practice on this now. So it may be a fairly lengthy downtime. Should go just fine. If not, of course, you'll know. We'll tell you. But it should be fine. Should be fine. It just is a fairly lengthy downtime. So that's something that's going to be happening. I did mention that we do have our summer sales in July kicking off. Those are typically some deeper discounts. Things like 35, 50, and 70% off. And that's series of sales that lasts for a week and is updated every week throughout the month of July. So, got some special sales coming your way in the near future. We do also have double bonus points going. This is the final weekend of getting double bonus points, if that's something you're interested in taking a look at. Will hardcore be free to play premium from now on? Good question. We don't have anything to announce specifically in regards to that, although it certainly has been kind of nice, has it not? I think this has actually worked out to be well, I mean, you let me know if you feel otherwise. It seems to have been pretty positively received to have people able to access the hardcore server regardless of account status, even if that means there are some restrictions that they have to deal with that VIP brethren will not, and some bonuses that VIPs will get that perhaps they do not. But as everyone seems to be okay with that, and it's been fun. So that's most of the feedback I've been hearing. So, you know, I would say that lends itself to being something we would strongly consider doing in the future. But we have not actually had any formal discussions that I am aware of as to whether or not that's the plan.
Who in the flame are you?
As a matter of fact, transfers are going to be free at the end of the hardcore season. The way we've done it in the past is that at the end of the event, there's usually somewhere in the range of a couple weeks to a month, where you can transfer your character for free off of the hardcore server to the server of your choice. That is free. There are some things that you lose, maybe if you're not prepared. But we do a complete database wipe of the hardcore server as well. So your character, your stuff, will not be back for the following season. I assume everyone knows this by season 3 now. But that is indeed the case. We do a server wipe. So, keep that in mind, but it is a free hardcore thing. So someone had said, hey, well, it's a way to make money on transfers. No, as a matter of fact. It will be a free service. So hopefully that will encourage some people to take advantage of it. I don't know when Alchemist might go on sale. That would be a question for probably SSG Red Panda or Tolera. I don't actually know the answer to that. At some point, I think we're going to save it for a biggie, but I have no idea when that might be. So there are a lot of options for the hardcore builds. Some people prefer just doing lots of melee, lots of DPS. Like I said, I focus on survivability because that's how it's catered to me, because I tend to die a lot. Because I tend to zerg a lot. Because I just sort of... I am brave! It's foolish. I'm somewhere on the spectrum between brave and foolish when it comes to my pacing of getting through dungeons in DDO. And once or twice it has led to my death. So this build is catered quite well to my specific tastes.
The Swahagan magic is gone. We beat them off. This time.
Hayden looks weary after surviving this latest attack. Perhaps you should talk to him again.
Tell Ursa to hold the barricade just a little longer. Then meet Amalgam at the base of Misery's Peak when you're ready. Go now.
With Hayden
Tell
finally
Ursa to hold the
persuaded,
Yay.
barricade just a little longer. Then meet Amalgam at the base of Misery's Peak when you're ready.
The Howard... Let me check. I've got the formal dating, but I will need to look it up really quickly. Oh, also, hello everyone over on Twitch. I see you now.
a mangled sewer grate leads to an old...
DDO.com/hardcore. DDO.com/hardcore will get you the information you're looking for in general, for the timing of this stuff. It lasts from June 24th through September 22nd. So through September 22nd, most likely that'll be going down then for our weekly downtime on that Wednesday. I think if I'm looking at my calendar right. August, September 22nd. Yeah, so that would be basically the 23rd is a Wednesday. So presumably you'll have until we take the worlds down, which would be what, 9 a.m. Eastern, I think, unless we opt to do some kind of midnight thing. But that ended up being more work than it was worth, frankly, in the first season of the Hardcore League, and so I don't think we really did that. We brought it down at noon. And announced it as such for Hardcore Season 2. And I think that we'll do something very similar to that for Hardcore Season 3. That seemed to work the best. Just for those who are not aware, for hitting 1,750 favor, you will get an Archon Helm. For 5,000 favor, you will get a Celestial Mount. That's a very cool one. That is 5,000 favor, though. THL. 10 Reaper points, the Deathwalker's Cloak 3, 20 Reaper points, the Lantern Archonling War Veteran Certificate. It's a creature companion, little Lantern Archon that follows you behind, does not provide a light source.
You see the glint of metal through some cobwebs. As the secret door slides open, you see a magical cell across the chamber. Could it be Holy Drusen?
So I'm just trying to kind of get through this. Haste makes waste. We have levels to earn. You'll have to refresh me on the season oh yeah, we did run into a few season transfer issues, or world transfer issues at the end of the last hardcore season. But that should be resolved at this point. We had fixed the issue, the underlying issue that was causing that. So for this hardcore season 3, that is not going to be an issue. It's being done a little bit differently, in a way that prevents that from being a possibility. So it should just work. Yes, as a matter of... Well, there will not be a way to earn previous hardcore rewards. Not so far. We've had a few discussions as to what people would like. In general, we've heard from people that they would be less happy if other people were able to earn the Season 1 and 2 rewards. However, maybe at some point in the future, we would not want to completely shut that down as a possibility. It might have some value to not be uber definitive on it, but I really don't see it happening anytime soon. However, those of you who have earned Season 1 and 2 rewards will soon be able to pick those up on the hardcore server. That's going to be happening in a patch in the near future.
The decrepit catacombs are slightly obscured by the falling water.
Nothing to announce regarding the DDO market and ability to purchase points. That's going to be a long-term solution. It's something we are actively working on. I think we'll have more information about that, when the time comes. But there is some work being done in regard to the ability of you to purchase DDO points externally outside of the DDO store in-game. Say, for example, loved ones, friends, family. Whatever. Your dog. Are all spots full now? Yes. Yes. Yes, I am aware that Warforged do not have the bloody footprints fixed. I don't know what's taking so long on that one, to be honest. I think it's just a matter of the exact people who would need to work on it have just been too busy to get to it. I have to assume, or unless there's something going on that is a little more complex than I'm aware of. Nonetheless, we agree. It should be fixed in the near future, and sorry that it's taken maybe a little longer than it normally would to get this work completed for you.
Resilient spider webs block out. They don't look capable of withstanding blows from your weapon, though. The cells in this room hold a number of desperate Korthos villagers.
All right. Onward. I am not fighting that skeletal mage. Well, someone did. All right. I have seen a few too many deaths at its hands. Oops. Oh no! Oh, thank God. Oh, hey, nothing happened. You didn't see anything. Yeah. What? No, that didn't happen. Yeah. As you can see, you were in the hands of a true expert here. You know. You come for the information, you stay for the genius that is me playing DDO.
You have reached the Devourer's sanctum. From ahead you hear a woman's plaintive cry for help.
Yeah, I don't fight the Kobold Shaman either. You just don't need it. You don't need the XP. You get so much XP at these low levels. In my opinion, I have not really had any concerns about outpacing XP through what, at least level 6 or 7. So I don't really worry about anything that could cause extra risk.
This entrance,
Unless maybe there's a chest I want, but I guarantee you there's no chest, at this level that I really care about. I'm just really kind of getting to level 3 or 4 before I really start updating my gear. And of course, this is a brand new server, right? So all the stockpile of stuff I acquired over season 1s, 2, and 3 are not available. Yeah, guess I'm doing some selling quick. You can. You can die on Korthos. I almost did. But I didn't. So that is called being overconfident. And the reason you can call it being overconfident is because I was standing in that blade trap just like, whatever, it'll be fine. No. The hardcore server says it will not be fine. I will typically, just because, help myself out a little bit here. That extra 1 can make a difference.
Your finding Hayton transformed the village. It seems as if all of Korthos were holding out for news of your next.
With the new Lord of Blades coming out, are we going to lose the old alchemical crafting system we had for it? The answer to that is yes and no. The itemization itself will remain available. The way that you acquire the gear is going to be getting a pretty significant overhaul. So, with the Legendary Lord of Blades, it's would be better if I had Linabelle or Steel Star, frankly, in the room with me to talk a little bit about it. Maybe that's something we can do next week or the week after. Although, actually, not next week because I'm not going to be here next week. But, something like that. However, the gear itself is just going to be dropping for you in the raid, so you're not going to have to do the crafting part of it to get the gear. And that'll be happening in the very near future with update 47. That's the long and short of it. There is some of that where I'm streaming and talking to people and all that. But honestly, that if I had died there, which, as you saw, was a very real possibility, it would have been surely due to hubris on my part, because I thought that either I wouldn't get hit by the spike, or if I did get hit, it wouldn't be a big deal. There was no reason for me to be there, except hubris on my part. A cautionary tale on today's weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. Especially when you're only level 2. Don't get overconfident.
A bone-chilling breeze emanates from the mouth of Misery's Peak.
You're here. Come. There isn't much time.
I am heartened to see you still combating evil. But do be careful. I won't be able to protect you this time.
Selimus, ready your party. I'll weaken the barrier.
I mean, she could have. She could have just cast a thing so that we wouldn't die. She chose not to. What, are you trying to tell me you can't do that forever protection buff just because there's 6 of us? That would have absolutely been my fastest hardcore death to date. I don't think I've ever even come close to dying in... Well, no, that's not true. There was one other time on the live stream where I went into in-cap in... I was Hayton's Crypt, right? Or the very first quest. I got critted and just went down to like -1. But I did survive that, but it was close. So that would have been the earliest. This is a close second. But it's a reminder, you know, it can happen. Sometimes the dice aren't going to roll your way. You are only level 1 or 2. It's embarrassing, but isn't the end of the world. That stuff happens. Oh, yeah. That was actually, you know, someone had said on the forums, why even do the death messages? Maybe they're just annoying as a concept. And I don't think so. I don't think so. Because they also are reassuring in their own way. Because you see, as things go on, like when it was set to level 2, which I think it may be currently, is that what it's set to? A lot of people are dying. You'll see it happen. And so it can be a little reassuring that you're not the only one. Yes, you might suck. However, you're not alone. There are other people like yourself, who are just, through whatever combination of reasons, are not making it to level 20. Yeah. I mean, it also is kind of a nice little kind of festive event atmosphere, and you do see that, you know, there are a whole bunch of people playing hardcore, and that's fun too. So just, I think, frankly, for that reason alone, it's probably worth doing. But
with the second signal crystal activated, you hear the stone door at the base of the cavern rolling open.
and it's fun to see some of the kind of character names and all that sort of thing too. It's a fun time. I like it. I guess just a small amount of needed coin. Yeah, unfortunately, it does open it up to a little bit of trolling and bad behavior, bad actors, but I think for the most part, people are fun with it, and the number of sort of inappropriate messages we've seen on the death messages has been relatively low. If people feel strongly about it, please let us know.
Chills run down your spine as you finally come face to face with a dragon that has been terrorizing Korthos.
Just because it's funny to you does not mean you should broadcast it.
Awesome beast.
Is there any way to create a light source? There may be a few ways that you can independently create some particle effects on your character. They tend to be pretty limited because we've seen our game engine have some particular issues with a large number of independent particle effects being kind of broadcast throughout our various data channels, you know, in-game interactions and such. So we tend to limit the number of independent light sources in a way that sides toward game performance. Which is part of why a few things that maybe used to provide light source don't anymore. And we're real loath to introduce new versions of it. What dungeon is the best one to get Reaper points soloing? I am not going to be the best person to answer that. But I would pick...
Another heavy door. Hopefully the switch is nearby. Not too well done.
I think I'd pick... There's a part of me that actually feels like Den of the Kobold Brothers and Butcher's Path. You can run through those in minutes. If they could do it. Yeah, I don't know. I would say the Depths quests are always good, easy XP for Reaper, if that's a concern for you.
Another heavy door.
But I am sure there are plenty of kind of guides out there that will provide better information than I have regarding what quests specifically you should be running for Reaper points. For me, though, I'm not doing Reaper for one thing. I may eventually on Hardcore Season 3, but I have learned the hard way that maybe you ought not. Unless you can really start handling it. So I wouldn't do it on a first life character. And I don't know if that's a lot of that's going to be kind of up to your preference and build and all that sort of thing. But and what you're looking for. And how you run Reaper on the regular live servers.
But where is the second?
But if it were up to me, I probably wouldn't really be going for Reaper XP until at least level 7-ish. And then if you're feeling real confident. And by that point, yeah, I think like the Depths quest would be a good option for you. Potentially, if you've got the skill set to handle it, the Sharn Syndicate stuff might not be bad. I don't think there are any quests in there that you can't kill fewer than 10 people. I haven't heard of any plans to bring ray tracing to DDO. That's pretty advanced lighting tech, and I think that would be a pretty significant project were we to consider it. And honestly, I just don't know if I ever really see us considering it. But if you never know what the future might bring. Ray tracing is really cool looking, and from what I understand, pretty challenging to implement without impacting game performance. But I am no expert, so. At the very least, I've seen some reports of, like, frame rate. You know, some people tend to prioritize frame rate over it and things like that. But it certainly is cool looking. Can we get changelings in Kalishtar, please? Well, we're going to be getting Shifter. This week's bonus, good point. I actually have that called up and ready to go. Or at least the one part of it I need to get done. Let's see. Make sure that's correct. Yes. Reaper XP boost. We are going to be pulling out the stops, I believe, for the weekend here. So kicking off tomorrow and running through Sunday will be 10% Reaper XP. We do not typically, well, yeah, that will not be on the hardcore server.
This could be your chance to destroy the Mind Sunder. The Mind Flayer shrieks as it loses the Mind Sunder's power. The dragon reasserts its will and looks very annoyed.
So the 99 expansions in some cases are showing up, even if you have the related base pack. It had to do with the way that they were implemented. I would encourage you, if you need to, you can get in touch with account support. They'll take care of it. They can look up, see what entitlements you have. You can say, look at your purchase history. Check your emails. I know it's not ideal, but we're working on some ways, hopefully in the future, to make that a little easier to see as well.
But destiny has greater plans for you than just this small village.
Yay. All right. Well, that actually brings us to a pretty good round conclusion here at 1 o'clock. I believe that Samus Grobo, let me know if he's going to be on or not. I saw him in chat earlier, but I don't know if he's streaming. I know initially he wasn't going to. Lamania is not currently open, will be in the near future though. I know that there's work underway to do another preview, so it should be just a matter of time. I do want to thank everyone who was in the group with me today. I will be getting you a code for 500 DDO points in the in-game mail later on today. I had to decide if I was going to do that on hardcore, and ultimately, it's fine. So, I am going to be doing that. Unless people feel very strongly that I should not. How many people still employed that came from Turbine? Basically, most of us that have started SSG. There have been a few kind of general employment kind of shifts over time, as to be expected with any kind of, business in people's lives. But many of us are actually still at SSG. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for the show, then. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching and listening. You can find the full schedule over on twitch.tv/DDO stream. Programming note, I'm not going to be here next week. I'm going to be taking a few personal days off, kind of middle of next week and on, so there will be no DDO stream, no Lotro stream for the next couple of streams here. So I will see you in probably something like 2 weeks. There will also maybe be a Chronicle next week. I'm not actually sure about that one either. Maybe not on that. But we will have a Lamania preview and I think a small patch in the relatively near future as well. And I will be getting you some more information about that as we get closer to it. So hope you're enjoying hardcore. Hope you are enjoying your time in DDO. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, all.